Chris John for KaijuPop.com, and today this is Dreii on the PS4, also on Vita and mobile platforms. Dreii with two eyes. This is the sequel to the original game Dreii on iOS and Android, and it was called that because you could play with 3 players. This is Dreii 2 with 2 eyes at the end. So yeah, then they're not going to make 3 2, they're not going to make 6. And then you'd have a game called Sex, so a little bit difficult. I'm going to jump into an early level here to show you what it's about. Hopefully, if the game doesn't crash. We've had a few crash issues here. We're going to jump in there. Okay, looks like we're okay. Yeah, it's loading a little. Okay, good. So, the goal in Dreii is to get a white block to the white spinny circle here. And you control these freaky little dudes that roll around. They can move in front of items, objects, things like that. I have no influence on the physics of the world in that regard. I'm just moving the stick around and hitting the button to roll around here. Obviously you can use touch on platforms that support touch. So you choose a sort of vertex to cling onto, and then you pull or lift, and you get your blocks to where you are. They have to stay on their own, unsupported, for a little while, and then you can move on. So then we also have transparent blocks in this section. These blocks do not count, so I can't just put that black block on the grey block on top of the white one. No, I have to put the white one on top of the grey one. There we go, like that. So this is a game by Christian Etter in Switzerland, I believe. It's a Swiss game. And the interesting thing about this game, and indeed the first game, is that there's an interesting kind of approach to multiplayer, and hopefully I'll be able to check this out, or I'll be able to show that off within the next sort of 15 minutes or so while we're playing here. So I made it to the goal there. So you get the idea. You've got to build, you've got to construct, and you've got to get to the top there. Now, the thing is, it's going to load that level automatically. I don't particularly want that to happen. If you want a spoiler, we want to build the big circles on top of the small ones to get up there. Okay, so the special thing about this game is that apart from the first 3 levels, the first 3 are single player only. All the other levels are co-op. And what you'll see, unfortunately, nobody else is playing, because there was somebody else I was playing with before I started recording here, and I think I irritated him off. You see, these asterisk levels are multiplayer only. So it seems so far there have been no compulsory multiplayer only levels. So in multiplayer only levels you get these big blocks that I can't lift up on my own, so I need some help to do that, and unfortunately there are no players around. What you'll notice is that as we're playing, hopefully on the level select screen, you'll see another sort of blip float around these little circles here, and that indicates that there's another player in that level that I can hop in and help out. But nobody is around, so that's a shame. So let's show off this new set of levels that I've just unlocked, which includes the first water level, which wasn't in the original Dreii. So let's hop in here. Wow, okay, so this might be tricky. So here we've got a floating platform to deal with. So you see, okay, I just flick the right stick or hit the shoulder buttons, I think, by accident. You see, if there was another player playing with me, there's no voice chat in this game. That's the thing. Indeed. What you have to do instead is sort of flick the right stick and then choose one of these stock phrases, which then neatly automatically translated into whatever language you like to play in. So I've got a few. You unlock more the more you go, but they're deliberately unhelpful. They're deliberately things like huh, or help, but the intention here is that communication is difficult. And so when I say I pissed off, perhaps pissed off a player that I was playing with before, you know, there are these challenge levels at the end of each section that are difficult because they require precise timing, because there's wind that comes in and knocks your thing over. And I knew how to do that section of the level, but it was so difficult to communicate to the other player. So I was constructing my tower and he kept on like knocking it over because he thought he needed to make one thin tower. It's like, no, you need to make a base of 2 and make it stronger. No, sinking. I have to put it right in the middle there, right, don't I? Yes, so it was all about, you know, Dreii is a game about kind of the frustration of not being accurately able to communicate yourself, which is very, very interesting in that regard. The original Dreii was a little bit handicapped, I think, because it put almost too much emphasis on the multiplayer. There were levels that, you know, there were compulsory levels that you straight up could not do because you were playing on your own. And so if nobody happened to be playing at the time that you were playing, then you were kind of SOL. Hopefully this is close enough to the middle here. But I think there's a little bit more of a balance between single multiplayer levels, and there's a few more ideas going on here, like these water levels, which are potentially quite interesting. Hopefully I'm right around the center of gravity here. So yeah, I mean, I spent literally about 20 minutes playing with this dude and he wasn't getting it right. Oh no! And I started getting, I just couldn't do it anymore. So I hopped out. The only thing you do see is the person's username. So I hopped out of the game and I sent him a message on PSN saying, look, this is how you do it. You're all very good-naturedly, but it was an interesting manner of communication there, because of course, like, that meant that I was stopped for a few seconds and he just dropped out the game. So hopefully, you know, it's a little bit trickier, you know, with iOS and the original Dreii, you didn't get username, so you couldn't send that person a message even. And I suppose sending a message here is a little bit of a cheat, but if you're sending a message, then you're not playing and the other person's going to drop out, or it might even automatically drop you out, I'm not sure. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Come on, do it. Oh no, it has to be like about 3 seconds, I think. And there's all tumbling down. Happily, there's another level that we can do instead. So let's jump into this one. So it's a little bit, I mean, there's obviously no pressure when it comes to time. You're not being timed, you're not being ranked, you're not being scored. It's just a, hey, can you do it? See how far you can go. Can you pull this level off? And also, can you do it because of, or in spite of the people you are playing with, which is a really appealing thing. It's what really appealed me to the first game, and it's what really appealed me to this game as well. And yeah, I think that's the thing about this second Dreii. It's perhaps, I mean, it's expanded the sort of remit and the scope when it comes to the amount and the variety of the puzzles, but it hasn't built on those communication ideas very much. You're still talking in the same way, and you're still sort of doing the same kind of things when it comes to a multiplayer standpoint, but it's added a little bit more variety to the puzzles themselves, and kind of made it a more compelling kind of single player experience as well, where I think, as good as the puzzles were in the original Dreii, you weren't really going to play that on your own. And this is a tricky one to get your head around. especially when you've knocked that over. There's lots as well, it just feels like you're a toddler the whole time, you know, because you have such limited sort of fine motor control of these objects. It really feels like, you know, my kid balancing his toys on top of one another because he thinks that they're going to stay and they're not going to fall, but they are. So I think maybe if I do that, and then hopefully even if the equilibrium is upset... Ah, balls! Roll this way. There you go. Stay. Stay, 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 stay. There we go. Okay. And then hopefully, if I put this down here, then there's something to support it. Either way. Maybe. Very carefully. Nope. So these big black things you cannot move either way. I'm really running short on time for this little video here, but the obvious thing would be to make an eye, but that's not going to happen. So that's going to roll off like that. Well, that's a brain teaser and a half. Well, yes, I'll certainly get back to both these levels. I really, really like Dreii. I like the core idea of it. I like the fact that it's been sort of expanded in the right ways. Whoops, just pressed the wrong button here. So you get the idea. This was the level that me and my partner were stuck on for a while. What you need to do is sort of make a column of 2 up, 2, 2 and 2, because the wind will blow this shit down. So the obvious thing is, okay, I just need to make a column and then put the triangle on top. But if you do that, there's no way you can do it in time, because the wind's going to knock everything down. It's going to ruin your shit. So what you need to do is do a quick column of 3, and then even when there's the idea of, okay, I figured this out, I know what to do, but you get into such a panic and such a rush that your tower is just constructed badly. So that wind's died down, and I can't promise that I'm going to be able to do this. I know how to do it. I exactly know how to do it in theory. But this is another kind of game where, I mean, I was stuck on this level at first, and then, you know, tried it again just this morning, and the idea sort of came to me of doing it. And it is a game where you're not going to get much in the way of guides, I don't think. You just sort of figure it out and sleep on it if you can't do it, and, you know, eventually you figure it out and you've done it. You know, it's one of those games where stopping and thinking about a problem really helps. And yeah, I really like these sort of, I guess I call them sort of core puzzle games, you know, where it's just about figuring out a problem, as opposed to a Twitch puzzle game that you know, like Tetris or something like that. And it looks like, yeah, there's nobody that I can help, or there's nobody to help me around. It would be kind of nice if you could sort of do a kind of Dark Souls like summon to your particular level, because there's a thing where the other people that are playing are just seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, so they're only that they're seeing, you know, it's like me. I can't get help on this level here or this level up here. I can't get help on those unless somebody else has already been there. So I can go back and help somebody else, but nobody can jump forward to help me. So it would be nice if there was some sort of like summon ability there to figure this shit out. But yeah, it seems to toy an awful lot with the idea of, it's pretty obvious what to do. You know, it's just like getting the physics just right and just figuring out. And there is this immense satisfaction when you are playing with somebody else and you do finally get your point across, just by frantically flying around and using the limited vocabulary that there is. And that's like incredibly gratifying, I think. So Let's try one. This is seriously, I'm really out of time. I've really got to go, but we're going to try just one more build here. Because if it's even slightly off center, but even then, even if it's on the center, the waves are going to mess it up because of the turbulence of the water. So it's very difficult to figure out precisely what we should be doing here. And maybe I can just knock this platform a little bit more this way. Yeah, man. Just a bit. Just a bit. A little bit more. There we go. This is being very, 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 very gentle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no! Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, I thought that was it. So 2 of 2, right? But it's totally gonna sink. That's totally gonna sink. That's the issue here, right? Equilibrium. Okay, so keep that one in the middle. Hopefully that one there is nice and in the middle enough that... And quick, quick, quick! Come on! Come on, you can do it! Oh no! Ah, what a jip. And that's not... Ah, because it's off center now. It's not set. It's too far off center. So I can't do it that way. Can I? And if there's any way we can just sort of knock this whole thing. Well, this way, yeah, and this way, this way, this way, this way. There's a little bit where you just kind of want to pull something very lightly, but because of the way you're sort of tethered, I guess, to each block, it makes jerky motions more likely than normal ones. Or gentle ones, and that again I think that is by design, but it's a hair frustrating, I think. Alright, this way, this is seriously, if this plan screws up, then we're gonna have to finish. So you really gotta go. Okay, there we go. Drop that there. Now what I want is that in the middle, but if that's not going to cooperate, then that's cool, I guess. Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. And there's an extent as well, yeah, because that initial jerk is where, like, that's kind of at the heart of some of the more delicate motion, you know. It's like, you won't grab it unless you're really pulling it. There we go, there we go, there we go. 3, 4. Oh no! Come on! No, not there. Not there. There's another kind of frustration as well with, I want to grab the side, I don't want to grab the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those sort of 3-4 seconds are incredibly tense and wonderful. But we figured it out. Yay, we did it. And that's a decent place to stop this, I think. So yeah, Dreii, it's on PS4 or Vita or your mobile platforms right now. Oh hey, I got wait. That's a really useful one. That's going to be really useful. That's a really useful command. So yeah, it's great that you unlock all these communication things. Yeah. Dreii, it's out now. It's pretty cool. I suggest you check it out. Chris Charlton for CodeJPop.com. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.